Hey guys, this is Shawn Sandridge and I am back with a video. I am not participating in Nonstop November, but I do plan to give you videos for the month of November. So let's talk about this new, I don't know, what do you want to call it? A new revelation? Kenya Moore did not get a prenup? Girl, are you serious? Sounds like it. So I'm looking at Yahoo Celebrity, and it says here, I'm reading off of my computer, RHOA's Kenya Moore doesn't think she rushed into marriage, but admits she didn't sign a prenup. Now, the new season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta just happened, season 12, episode 1, and of course with Kenya's storyline, she has a new baby, and she is, what we know now, is separated from her husband, Marc Daly. But of course, we're seeing how this unravels with her storyline. And so it says here that the Housewives of Atlanta star opened up about her marital issues to People in last week's issue. The interview took place weeks after Moore, 48, and Daly, 49, announced their split following 2 years of marriage. And that fans were left twirling from news of their sudden separations, though shocks like this are par for the course for Moore. They wed in June of 2017 in a surprise ceremony. And she says she doesn't regret rushing to the altar. Now, this is what she says that makes me like pause. She says, when you're a certain age, Moore told People, it's not like you're a teenager and you meet someone and say, oh, I'm going to marry this person. When you're close to 50 and you've dated your fair share of guys, you've kissed a lot of frogs, and when you meet someone, if you're compatible. From that perspective, I felt comfortable knowing I wasn't necessarily rushing. I can kind of understand that. Of course, hindsight is 50-50, she added. Looking back, I think, okay, we should have discussed more things about religion. We should have discussed living conditions. We should have discussed those important things. Those are the things we missed. You see the contradiction? I definitely think there should have been more conversations about the future, about who we are and what our expectations were, Moore continued. I don't think a lot of that was discussed because we were in love and we just wanted to be together. So when you say when you're a certain age, and you're not a teenager, although by the next choice of words, you are very much acting like a young person, just wanting to be together, not thinking about the important things. Like, you hear the contradictions, okay? All right. And so evidently she did mention and Watch What Happens Live that there was no prenup. How do you do that? So she says that, let's see, we all know that he didn't want to be part of the show. Okay, so Moore revealing on Sunday's Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen that the two never signed a prenup. No prenup? Moore said, explaining she still doesn't worry about money being an issue between them, that they're both successful, that her biggest asset is her home that she owned outright before she got married. What about your hair care products? Isn't that your asset? I mean, yeah, your house is your asset now because you own that, but what about your business? And what about all the earnings you've had since you've been married? I mean, you practically launched the Moore hair care products like just before you got married. So all those proceeds within the marriage, that can be assets during the time you've been married, that can be up for question. I'm not an attorney either, but isn't that something to be said? Anyway, she feels that because she's successful and he's successful, that money is not going to be an issue. anytime there's a divorce, money is always an issue. And especially now that you have a baby, we'll see who's really successful, because that's definitely going to be an issue about childcare and who's paying child support and dealing with the child care expenses. No longer is a woman protected that because she's the mother, that she's not going to be the one that's paying more in child support. And if the judge feels that there's no problems, that yeah, you might get, physical custody, but you could still be paying some form of child support, especially if she's little Brooklyn is with her daddy. Child support is a whole different ball game with successful women. And since you're a successful woman, you should not think that you're going to go unscathed with a divorce. And didn't you pay his taxes? And that was before you guys were married? Or just newly married? Like $1 million in back taxes? And then you were behind on your own, property taxes? Girl, listen. Please, 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 please do not underestimate what people will do during a divorce. Now, supposedly, they just announced their separation. No one has filed. Okay, so I don't know how it works in New York or Georgia, but girl, you need to start finding an attorney and getting some really sound legal advice, because you thinking that, your money is your money and his money is his money and there's no prenup. Y'all both have assets that can dip in because there was money made during the time you were married, and it's still married. A lot of times if you have an actual legal separation agreement, a lot of things will stop from that date on. So whether it's bills or money that has been made within the marriage, that'll stop once the legal separation date has been filed. Girl, get yourself some legal sound advice. I mean, you've already made the first legal faux pas and not get a prenup. I mean, I'm not making Real Housewives of Atlanta money, but you best believe if I was going to go through a second marriage, I would definitely get a prenup for many reasons. I have money and assets that has nothing to do with my future new husband, and I have heirs. I have children that legally should have the first bite of the apple to any of my inheritance that I might get, not my second husband. That is crazy. So you tell me what you think. Do you think Kenya was crazy for not getting a prenup? I say yes. And do you think that they're going to get back together? And what do you think about her? She doesn't seem, no one's going to tell all your business, but, and I mean, don't go to Phaedra. I mean, go to an attorney that deals with divorce and deals with dealing with finances. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for stopping by. That is crazy to me. How do you get married and you are not thinking about living conditions? You're not having a big talk about how you're going to raise the baby, who's going to be taking care of the baby, how are you going to be married. You didn't even talk about religion. The fact that you brought it up tells me there was a problem. Put it all in the comments below. Let's have a discussion. Talk to you soon. Bye.